Welcome back to the Potsmacher's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmacher's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Bible, or or Ketuvim, as the Hebrew call it. Today, we're discussing Psalms 140, 12, and 13, which is Zion 18, 13, and 14. I know that the Lord will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The righteous shall dwell in thy presence. Psalms in this passage is the assertion of David to my people. David, the true king of Israel, knew that his friends in the spaceships would always uphold the right of the afflicted. He had first-hand experience of their ability to maintain the right of the poor. David was a fugitive, like my people. He and his followers had to hide from King Saul. He was hunted down like we are, for no just cause. And the Grey helped him too, just as they help us. We stand in good company in our criminal state. King David was one of us too. King David knew that the righteous who knew God would always have reason to give thanks to the Grey for the aid given. I too know the pleasure of being aided in the righteous cause by a higher authority than man. We, who are the upright, will dwell in the presence of God. When we get high, we get God. We activate our telepathic genes and literally live in the same wavelength as they do. Therefore, living in the presence of the Grey. Psalms 9:9 is Zion 18:15. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in a time of trouble. 9:9 states that God is a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. We, as humans, have always sought God in times of trouble. It is literally in our human nature to call on God when we get into trouble. Even an an atheist will pray in a life or death situation. So it really shouldn't come as a surprise that the beaten down slip of a girl said a prayer in a time of stress. Everyone calls on God, at least as a last resort or a refuge in times of trouble. Psalms 68:18, Zion 18:17. Thou hast, oops, Psalm 69:33, Zion 18:16. For the Lord heareth the poor and despiseth not his prisoners. Psalm 69:33. The Grey hears the cries of the poor and doesn't hate the prisoners. There is a barrier between our active DNA and our Grey DNA. It is an enzyme that can only be broken by the release of a stress hormone. The poor, who are the most stressed, produce this hormone and therefore break the barrier. Then, when they get high, the THC can enter the receptacles. If the barrier is intact, you get sleepy. That is why the Grey can hear the poor, high or not. If you're poor, chances are your stress has broken your enzyme barrier and the Grey genome is available to you. The prisoners, poor or not, have also broken that enzyme and can be heard, or at least the Zionite ones have. I doubt a true sociopath could ever break down the enzyme. It takes the most intense emotional response to become telepathic. Prisoners who are innocent will produce the required hormone, whereas a thug won't. The Grey feel compassion for prisoners of injustice. They can hear their sides. Psalm 68:18, Zion 18:17. Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also has the Lord, that the Lord might dwell among them. Psalm 68:18. Thou hast ascended on high. Okay. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men. Yeah, I'd say I did that. For the rebellious also, that the Lord might dwell among them. Huh. Oh, what a glorious thought. Thou hast ascended on high. Yeah, I have gotten high. Do it all the time. I do it all the time. Exactly what it says. The use of marijuana is the cornerstone of my gambit for freedom and the fulfillment of the prophecy. I have led captivity captive. Yeah, I did hold the state captive the day I testified in the words of the prophecy. By enacting the prophecy in court, I set in motion the events portrayed in the scripture. From that moment on, the state was put in a captive state. I now have the power over them. They just don't know it yet. I have received gifts for men, but not just for men, for all of humanity. I have been taught to use my innate abilities given to us by the Grey. I have also fulfilled all of the requirements for entry into the Galactic Society, which is the greatest gift that I bring. We Earthlings, or Zionites as you might call us, are about to become part of the greater universe. I bring many gifts to humanity. Yes, I came to lead the rebellious in their rightful bid for freedom, dignity, and the right to become all that we as humans can be. I didn't start this war. I didn't deserve to be hunted like an animal and imprisoned like a criminal. I wouldn't have led this rebellion if the state hadn't forced me to. But the government did force me and my people. They did create an oppressive, unjustified, immoral act that created suffering unlike any other known to man. And by forcing my people to conform, they have forced us into a state of rebellion. So the state can't blame anyone but themselves for what is about to happen to them. And what's going to happen to them is this. One day, on 420 maybe, my people are going to get up, pack their families and all their stuff, and go camping. And they will go to the nearest designated camping zone for the event. It will be a campout strike to end the war on drugs. If this camping trip works right, we will, by sheer force of numbers, create such a spectacle of public strife that the entire world will come to a complete stop. We will strike. Not one of us will go to work or take our kids to school. We will go to the nursing homes and we will take our elderly with us, those who can travel safely, and we will stop traffic too. This camp out will be like the Exodus of Moses, literally. We will go camping and we will call on the gray aliens. And just like in the time of Moses, the ships will come. An alien spaceship from another world, literally, God. From that moment on, the gray will dwell among the grays of earth. Yay. Zechariah 9:11-13, Zion 18:18-20. As for thee also, by the blood of the covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit, wherein there is no water. Turn ye the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judea for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and make thee as a, uh, as a sword of a mighty man? Zechariah, in this passage. As for thee also, as for thee also, by the blood of the covenant. Thee, of course, is the blooded Jew, the Israelites of the world. But the covenant made with Israel, that covenant of blood, is the foundation of the Zionite people. We too are the children of the blood covenant of Abraham's line. The God of Israel will free the prisoners. They will release them from their prison cells, where you can't even have running water. And oh, my cell in prison didn't have water in them. It was a pit, a hole that was lined with bars of iron. Turn ye to the stronghold, ye prisoners. The stronghold is Israel. Look to Israel, to the strong big brother. Look to the blood of our mutual father Abraham, because Israel is our stronghold. The nation of Israel should defend us once they realize who we are and what our creation means for them. So we will seek out our brother Israel when we declare our identity as the foretold people of Zion. And Israel should not be afraid to stand up for us, because we bring forth with us their God. We are the promise made to Israel. We are the hope of the children of Abraham. Our ascension on high is their redemption, long overdue. We are Zion, the hope of Israel. All Israelites who look to Zion look to us. Even today do I declare that I will render double to you. The suffering of Israel and Zion will not go unrewarded. In fact, we will receive double reward for our pain. We will receive once for Israel and once for ourselves, Zion. We who pay the price for humanity receive double for that price. When I have bent Judea for me, filled the bow of Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion. Once the gray arrive, for all to see, there will be a meeting between Israel, Zion, and the gray. We will join ranks with all other nations who accept the gray as the ancient gods, because the Zionites exist exerts powers who will, when necessary, fight the Greek-based Christians coalitions made up of all the nations who reject the arrival of the gray as living gods of old. No one on our side wishes to wage war in any form of warfare. We of Zion know better. Our older brother Israel lost their way when they sought to be as other human nations. Their long and horrific exile from the gray have taught them to trust God. When God returns, they will take the gray's lead and reject warfare too. But the rest of humanity will refuse to give up their long-held beliefs and their all-too-easy lifestyles. They will not be given the new toys and the higher techs that the gray will bring. They will, of course, want these things, but they will refuse to reform their current ways. One of those ways is warfare. Once this shock wears off, those left out of the new society will use every means to force us to bow to their will. They will try to spy on us. They will try to buy techs from us. They will try to steal it from us. They will sanction us. They will blockade us. And they will attack us with weapons of war. And there's where I'm going to end today. So, may the gray watch you, protect you, guide you, keep you from all harm, and teach you right from wrong. May you always be worthy of it. May your words, thoughts, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light. May you always be happy and high. Know that I love you. Later. Bye. I'll never say goodbye.